Is it possible that what you are going through can be an occasion for growth, can be an opportunity for God to work in your life? I know, to which some of you might say, Sammy, just give me 5 minutes of your time. I will tell you my story, and you will see that doesn't apply to me. And I will say, you're probably right, but James has something to say to you. James says, consider it, count it all joy, my brothers and sisters, when you meet trials of many kinds. He didn't say, if you meet trials. He says, when you meet trials. Because he knows in this life, you will have trials. Jesus says, you will have tribulation in this life. But take courage, I have overcome it. Count it all joy. You know, one of the things I didn't like in school is surprise test. You know, the teacher comes and starts handing out the exam or the quiz. And I remember asking my classmates, do we have a test today? I'm not ready for that. James says, when this happened to you, when life surprised you, when life gives you a test, instead of considering like, this is terrible, my life will never be the same again, James wants you to embrace it, to think about it, to like, God might be up to something good in my life. You know, and when you're going through something deep, a trial, we have the tendency to just ask, why? Why me? Why my family? James says, this is the perfect occasion to ask God, what are you teaching me now? Why are you letting me go through this? But what are you teaching me right now? James called it trials of various kinds. I know some of you might be thinking, so shall I consider it pure joy when I'm being treated unjustly? Should I consider it pure joy when I'm seriously ill? Should I consider it pure joy when I'm struggling financially? Should I consider it pure joy? Is that what James is saying? No. James is saying to you and me that when the bottom falls out, when life happens, because trials put you on trials, don't they? When life happens, James says, I want you to consider it, that God might be up to something good. You know, when you hit rock bottom, that might be the occasion for you to realize God is the rock in the bottom that's holding you. You know, when bad things happen, because you've been trying to be a good husband. You've been trying to be a good wife. You've been trying to be a good employee. You've been trying to be a good student. And now something happened to your family. You just want to look up and say, really, God, why me? Why would you let this happen to me? Why would you let this happen to my family? Because the truth is, God allows trials in our lives, tests in our lives, to transform us into the likeness of His Son, Jesus Christ. Because if everything is always sunshine, you always feel like you're on top of the mountains. You're not growing. Don't you? One thing I noticed when I was in school is that when the teacher gives you an exam, the teacher is silent. She not talking. But you're sweating and trying to remember everything, but He is silent. Sometime in our lives when we are going through something, God is silent. He's not absent. He is silent. Because He wants you to go through that, because the outcome of what you're going through will produce something. I remember 2010, that major earthquake that hit Haiti. I was right in the midst of it. Where I was approximately at the university building, where I was approximately 500 students and professors were buried alive. My building was swaying back and forth, it didn't fall. But my classmates, some of them were in the other building on the same courtyard, buried alive, and I heard them crying for help. And I'm walking out of that place, only dust on my face. No bruises, no broken bones. While my classmates, my profs, they are all buried alive. So I thought it was only in this little area of my university building until I heard somebody said, even the National Palace fell down. I was like, there is no way my family, we are going to survive that. So as I'm walking back home, I saw all kind of injuries, all kind. I got home, my family was okay physically compared to other families, but we lost everything. We slept on the streets for many months. While we were sleeping on the streets, on the concrete, because if your house is still standing, you will not dare go inside because there was aftershock after aftershock. Less than 500 feet down the road was dead bodies just piled up. The sun rise up in the morning, swelled them up, and they exploded. And we are all sleeping on the streets. My community, we're all on the streets. As I'm praying and asking God, what is it that you're teaching me? Why are you saving me? Why me? I'm not holier than them. I'm not better than them. Why me? That's when I got a text on my cell phone. Somebody said, God saved you for a reason. Give glory to him. So I started a prayer meeting with the people, telling them that God is not done with us yet. God is still at work in our lives. Because sometimes what's going on in our lives, we feel like it's the end of the world. I felt like it was the end of the world. But the lesson that I learned, that there are many characters in the Bible that learn to trust God, not in the comfort of their own home. Like God asked Abraham to offer Isaac his future inheritance, his everything. And that's when Abraham learned that God is Jehovah Jireh. Joseph learned to trust God not in the comfort of his own home when he has that beautiful jackets and when his dad is with him. He learned to trust God when he was going to jail for something he didn't commit. When they sold him as a slave, he still trusts God. David learned to trust God when he said in Psalm 23 verse 4, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil because you are with me. Probably you know people personally whose faith has grown because they went through a trial.